well, let me use another analogy before I get to that. If me and 15 chat niggas get caught up in a RICO, hopefully we don't, right? It's a reason why it's a conflict of interest for your lawyer to be a lawyer of someone else. Why is it a conflict of interest? Because at a certain point, they might have to enter into a proffer status or whatever with the government that now you have to pick whose interest you're prioritizing.
Did I hear RICO come up from Akademiks in regards to Wack 100 and his contract with Blueface? Or champ, listen, gang, it's getting real crazy with Wack 100 and DJ Akademiks. Things are getting really wild. Ever since Akademiks got into beef with Blueface and he's brought up this faulty contract that he claims Wack is just double dipping with the contract, got Blueface believing he's with some other company or other entity outside of Wack and with Wack, but whole time he's with Wack 100, not once but 2 times. Ever since then, things have been getting real shaky between Wack and Ak. What's next? Because it looks like right now what Akademiks is doing is trying to weaponize the feds against McElroy Jones, aka Cash McElroy Jones, aka Wack 100. It looks like Akademiks is trying to do some evil that he's trying to bury Wack just in case Wack gets too crazy with him, because we all know that deep down Ak is scared of Wack. But if he uses the feds, he might have an out from Wack crashing out. Listen, man, it's about to get real crazy. I want y'all to hit the like button. I want y'all to hit the hype button, because we about to get deep. Oh, champ. Run up these likes, run up these likes, run up these likes. We back again, man. Akademiks is going AWOL on Wack 100, man. The gloves is off when it comes to Ak and Wack's relationship. These guys have had a relationship going on 7 years now, by way of them both being cool with 6ix9ine, and now it looks like things are going incredibly south, and it looks like Wack might end up in some type of RICO. According to Akademiks is talking RICO talks. In a way, he's copping a plea, but also threatening Wack in the same night. We're going to jump into this content right away, man. Hit that hype button. Let's do it.
Okay. Now, before I address and kind of like, not necessarily clean up what I meant or really fully explain, I do want to give Wack 100 the opportunity, and he did respond.
By the way, man, this is a plea being copped already. He's already saying, hey, I want to clean up. Oh, I want to give Wack 100 a chance to explain. Yeah, you went off the deep end, champ. You did that because you got smoke with Blueface. You're gonna start revealing stuff that shouldn't be out there because you're just a messy individual. You get drunk a lot. This is something that you're accustomed to doing. You just a whole ish show, I dare say. I'm saying ish show for YouTube guidelines. You're just having a complete meltdown most of the time, and sometimes you do things that would definitely burn a bridge with someone that you're supposedly cool with. So Wack 100 speaks his piece, doing his damage control, because obviously him and Ak have spoke behind the scenes about a play that Ak is running on Blueface with contracts. Let's proceed, gang.
He responded here. Was it here?
Akademiks claims that you've been stealing money from Blueface.
Yeah, I got on his ass about that. That was crazy.
So for the record, he said since Blueface is signed to you on a music level and managed by you, that means that you're essentially taking like half of his money.
Here's the thing with Akademiks. When I talked to him, I said, have you ever done a contract with anybody musically?
Wack never said that to me, and I absolutely have. I literally have a joint venture, just like I have a joint venture, the Academy Records. It falls under 10K. Used to be under Capital, and now they send me notice they're under Atlantic or AMG, okay, which is a newly formed thing. Elliot, which is the son of Lucian Grange. The deal I did was with the son of Lucian Grange, which is Elliot Grange. It's on 10K projects.
So hold on, he got a deal With 10K projects, Elliot Green, son of Lucian Grange, all champ. I didn't know this. Maybe some of y'all knew. I don't know if y'all know, Lisa, the Academy Records. You got a branch off of 10K projects. It's kind of crazy. Now, ironically so, 6ix9ine was also signed to 10K projects, which kind of makes sense that he would get close to Elliot Grange, have that happen when he has a connection to 6ix9ine. It's starting to make sense to me. I ain't gonna lie, but I never knew, champ. Speak more on that. Speak more on that act. Let's hear more of that.
It's there. I'm signed to my own label, right? Which literally I had to sign that myself, and also I signed another person as well, and also I've offered contracts as well. But that's neither here nor there. Would I say I have more experience in Wack with doing contracts and stuff like that? I would say no, because Wack has worked with a lot more people, clearly.
No, I said, what are you talking about? Well, I'm looking at Finesse. Finesse's contract, he got 4 or 5 people. I would never allow that to happen with none of my clients, because I know too many direct people.
But who is it? It's
Moneybagg Yo.
Oh, so he originally signed
Mob Ties.
And then Mob Ties.
JPE, which is the dad. You got Atlantic as the mother company. So that's 4. And then him. You see what I'm saying? So his 20% is really probably 20% of a 40%, which is really like 8%. This is where Act gets shut down. He said Blueface is signed to me, right? Blueface was signed to Cash Money West. Cash Money West is owned by who?
Birdman.
I just oversee that division. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Akademiks claims
the reason why Wack is really good is that he has a way with words, like any great media personality is. That's why I think he's one of the top media personalities. I want to make some some corrections to what he's saying.
Copying, please, champ. No, go all the way, because Wack is calling you bozo. Wack is saying you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You just chatting. Because you evidently are trying to throw him under the bus. Under the guise of beefing with Blueface. So you just didn't care in the moment. You just went all the way up, say, oh yeah, by the way, I know a secret. Yeah, Wack is double dipping with your champ. Yeah, he's double dipping. Yeah. You didn't know that? Well, you know now. And you're supposed to be cool with Wack. You ain't supposed to reveal his play to the world, because now you got him looking crazy. Then you're talking this Fed talk. Hey, we're going to get to that in a second, obviously. Y'all seen the preview game. Let's keep it going.
It also probably helped clearing up what I was saying. I don't know the full details of the business between Wack 100 and Blueface. Anything I'm saying it in general, even though based on what we've heard publicly from Blueface's own mouth on interviews and even recently, it feels like what I said matched up with what was going on. I don't have the contracts. I haven't looked at Blueface's stuff, so I'm going off of what they have said publicly, what we perceive, and how that should be interpreted. Here's the very premise. The premise is this: if I do a contract, like put it like this, this happened with the Offset like QC thing. It's a reason why. Well, let me use another analogy before I get to that. If me and 15 chat niggas get caught up in a RICO, hopefully we don't, right? It's a reason why it's a conflict of interest for your lawyer to be a lawyer of someone else. Why is it a conflict of interest? Because at a certain point, they might have to enter into a proffer status or whatever with the government, that now you have to pick whose interest you're prioritizing. It's a conflict of interest for someone else. That's why people have separate attorneys. By the way, it's the reason why a judge would get recused in many situations. If a judge, who many judges used to be prosecutors and also had private practices as defense attorneys, if a judge previously, and by the way, I thought this helped out YSL Mondo, Fonnie Willis previously represented YSL Mondo, who's self-acknowledged as a co-founder of YSL, when she was doing private practice in between one of her prosecutorial gigs, and she represented him for a gun case. Clearly, who knows how that representation went? She may have had a lot of knowledge from attorney-client privilege. Now, because she represented him, it would be unethical of her to then prosecute him, given the fact that she also has information that it should be only between them. Now, technically, that should be a thing, but what would normally happen is that prosecutor would recuse himself. Doesn't mean that YSL Mondo could never be charged. No. What it means is that to not have a conflict of interest, you don't want someone who previously was with you to be prosecuting you, because now it puts you in a disadvantaged position.
So Let me say this. You and them 15 chat niggas might still get a RICO. Did you know that, champ? Yeah. I get all other stuff. Talking, legality and what have you. I'm talking that legality talking. That's cool. But you and them 15 chat niggas may still get a RICO though. And you know why? And obviously this is all being done for not only damage control to, I guess, make him and Wack seem like they're not having issues, but they clearly are having issues because he revealed a secret that can mess up Wack's money. Because evidently this is what Wack's doing. You're messing up whatever play Wack is doing, right? Now, I guess you're putting Blueface on game unintentionally. You're doing that, and on top of that, you're also messing with Wack's money because Wack is known for doing extortions. Wack is known for finessing people, and clearly he's playing with Blueface, right? According to you, and you know this. So now you're trying to clean it up, champ. Now you're trying to clean it up because you're copping a plea, but at the same time letting Wack know, hey, champ. The feds might just get involved. You might want to take it easy on me, champ. That's basically what's happening here. If you could put two and two together and do the simple math, you dig? I'm just saying, man. But look, make sure you hitting that like. If you have not hit that hype button, we're gonna keep the content going.
So whether it's a judge that used to be an attorney that represented you, or a prosecutor that used to be a defense attorney that represented you, those people would what they call recuse themselves. It's a conflict of interest. In business, if I'm trying to sign someone, like I was trying to, and I eventually did. I successfully signed someone to the Academy Records back then. They wanted to use my lawyer. My lawyer helped me get the deal. My lawyer got 5% of my overall deal for the Academy Records. He is incentivized to make sure me, who's going to be the guy who's signing a bunch of people, I got the budget, I'm the guy. He wants me to get the most of money because he's going to get the most of money, right? So it wouldn't be ethical if I am signing a young kid and I said to the kid, you need a lawyer, but use my lawyer. That lawyer's not going to go in there and say, hey, let me get the deal really in the favor of this guy when I'm already eating with Ack over here. He's just going to get me the best deal. Do you understand? It's a conflict of interest. It's a pretty simple thing to acknowledge. Here was my understanding of what Blueface contract and situation was, right? And Wack does a really sleight of hand right here, and I want to point it out.
What is it? It's
Money bag, yo.
Oh.
Contract.
Here we go.
Anybody, music.
His money.
Here's the thing with Akademiks. When I talked to him, I said, have you ever done a contract with anybody musically? No. I said, what are you talking about? Well, I'm looking at finesse. Finesse is...
Now, even though the conversation that I had stemmed from finesse, I was talking about a particular part. It's not about the 5 people in the contract. James Prince, the father's, James Prince Sr., he's listed in the contract, but really he's a manager. It becomes a conflict of interest. That's where I got this idea of conflict of interest. If he's supposed to be managed by the father, but signed to the son, why in the contract does the father, who is quote unquote going to be that's already a conflict of interest. You're managed by the father of the nigga you're signed to. Come on, like these are like kind of simple things, right? Like we're not like we don't got to be Aristotle or something, right? But whatever. Let's say that happens. When reading the contract, the father was also included as someone that was going to take percentage. Well, to me, that's double dipping.
Nasty work. Nasty work, man. Listen, this can be as unethical as it could be, right? It is. It is. We know this, but why do we have to know this? Like, the music industry is shiesty enough, right? There's living proof of the music industry being nasty. There's been a lot of people who've been taking advantage of the music, period. It's just how it is, man. It's dog eat dog, man. Your it's shark infested waters when you get into the music business, or any entertainment business for that matter. Any major corporation. It's just how it is. It's cutthroat, right? And people will take advantage if they can. If they see you ain't up on game, they're going to give you the runaround, right? But why? If you're Wack's friend, this information ain't supposed to even be out there, because you are both nasty dirtbags to y'all own argument. You know what I'm saying? Y'all both are equally POSs. Y'all are equal POSs. Y'all not better than one another. So all y'all dirt should be in private. It shouldn't be public. And just because you beefing with Blueface don't mean you gotta air out his manager's dirt, because you cool with his manager. You cool with the nigga that's running this program. So why in the world is this information even being put out publicly unless you trying to do some type of incrimination or trying to ruin something, trying to mess up Wack's bag? Because evidently that's what you're doing. But hey, who am I, right? What do y'all think, man? Leave a comment. Let's keep it going.
How are you the manager? And how are you also in the contract as the person that will be getting some type of proceeds from the music as if you were a label or, and this is the important part, a production company? Now, I'm going to explain to you a little bit of music shit because Wack is going to overtalk it right here. Listen to Wack.
His contract, he got 4 or 5 people. I would never allow that to happen with.
Okay, so I explained that part already, right? It's not about necessarily the amount of people. It's that some people are doing 2 different roles, but they're all claiming percentage. That's a problem.
With none of my clients, because I know too many direct people.
But who is it? It's
and also the problem, even if you're saying, because somebody could make they could make the argument to say, well, JPE, which is James Prince Entertainment, he's in the contract because, you know, he's going to do management stuff, but he's just getting his money from the label. Well, no, you could do a letter of direction. And even then, that still piggybacks the artist, because you're saying that you have now signed a manager for the duration of your record deal. That seems more than a manager. That seems like a partner. A manager, you should be able to fire whenever you want to fire him based on whatever deal you have. Now, maybe that includes, hey, you're going to be my manager for this entire record deal. Okay, cool, if that's what you want. But if your manager is baked in your deal that even if he's not working, he still gets paid, that seems like a partner, not a manager. A manager gets 20% off the top when he does services for you. But if your music does well, you know, and you had this deal, and whatever that comes from this deal, if he just gets paid no matter what, that sounds like a partner or an investor. But again, I'm trying to show you the sleight of hand of, you know, Wack speaking as if people don't understand, like the music industry is so complicated.
Money Bag Yo.
Oh, so he originally signed
Mob Ties.
and then Mob Ties.
JPE, which is the dad. You got Atlantic as the mother company. So that's 4. And then him. You see what I'm saying? So his 20% is really probably 20% of a 40%.
Okay, and this is where Wack does the talking, you know. You know, when Wack starts doing this shit, like, well, he got to be right.
Which is really,
And he's kind of right here about finesse.
like 8%. This
But now the conversation comes back to him and Blueface.
is where Act gets shut down at. He said Blueface is signed to me, right? Blueface was signed to Cash Money West.
Okay. Now, this is, you know, I'll acknowledge I don't know the full details or all the intricacies of his business, but I'm going off what I always heard Wack say.
Nasty work. So you don't even know the full intricacy. And then you airing out the business. Mind you, this business ain't supposed to be public. This is not public business. You made this business public just because you wanted to make Blueface look crazy, Jim. You have no boundaries as far as, you know, when it comes to you giving out information to the public. You'll say anything. If need be, you'll say anything. If you get drunk enough, you just reveal everything. I mean, and you say, you know, people who get drunk just end up telling the real anyway, right? So you can, man. This is only gonna get uglier from here. It's only a matter of time before Wack and Act have a clash, and I can see this happening sometime very soon. I mean, after Super Bowl, I'm assuming this is what's gonna happen, gang.
So Cash Money West is Birdman's company, right? That's kind of ran or overseen by Wack 100, or was, I don't know if currently. But just like how Atlantic, Uzi's quote unquote technically signed to, Uzi's really signed to Generation Now. That's called a production company. Wack 100 is leaving out a step. Yeah, Blueface is signed to Cash Money West, but my understanding is that he's signed to Cash Money West through 100 ENT, which is Wack's production company. So technically, Blueface is signed to you, and you signed his rights to Cash Money. Now, I could be wrong. I haven't seen his contracts. And, you know, shit, you want me to go back on my trusted site? I could go back on my trusted site and pull up Blueface's name, right? We could pull up his name and, you know, give me 1 second. I don't know. Let me go find some tracks. Hold on. I'll put it on screen when I find. What was like his biggest track? Is it like? Okay. Here we go with this.
Take your time, Chin. Take your time. Oh, Chin. Take your time, Chin.
Why does it say record label unavailable? All right, it's all good.
Come on.
What I'm gonna do is let me do
Take
here,
your time,
and let me just go to Spotify
man.
yet again, right? So when I go to Spotify and let's go to Blueface.
Come on, Chin.
This is gonna, you know, they usually are accurate and will print wherever it's coming through, which you can figure out label information there, right? So I don't know. His latest single is called Vibes, right? Vibes. Rich the Kid, DDG, and Blueface. I don't think this is. I think this is Rich the Kid's song, low key. What's the last? I want to see the last Blueface solo song to be able to see. Better featuring Stunner Girl. Okay, let's look at that. Now, you see what you see right here that says 2026 100 ENT. That's what Spotify is acknowledging the label to be. So when they're gonna pay out for this song, even though it's only 142,000 views, they're gonna pay 100 ENT. That's Wack 100's company. Now, granted, from what I'm hearing and kind of like, you know, I'm kind of figuring it out. It doesn't seem like Cash Money is in the picture anymore. So I get it. Now the production company stands alone. So it's just through Wack, right? Now, but right now, you know, and this would be my argument to Wack. Your last song is dropped through a quote-unquote record label that you own. How are you not his label? He could just upload this to TuneCore without you.
Nasty work, gang. Nasty work, gang. You doing an expose on Wack. How does nobody see this as snake behavior, right? Now, obviously, Wack, what he's doing is unethical, right? Because, again, this is being brought to the public, the general public, to see that Wack is doing dirty business. Because this is what Akademiks is doing. How is Wack's friend if he's doing an expose on him? This went from you beefing with Blueface to, hey, Wack, I'm exposing you for snaking Blueface, for doing poor business practices, unethical practices in music business with Blueface. You're double dipping. That's crazy. Then you're talking about RICO and all that. That's crazy. How is Wack gonna deal with this? Is the question. Like, all the damage control in the world, all the big man talks on no jumping in the world won't save you from what Akademiks can potentially do. Right now, this is already bad enough. I ain't gonna lie, because he's proving a point here. And again, I don't know if Blueface is paying attention, or his mother, or whoever is in his corners paying attention to any of this, because Wack has been, you know, managing Blueface for quite a while. But listen, you're gonna mess up the bag that Wack got, regardless if he has a scummy way of getting this bag. You're also known to be scummy. You're not any better than Wack 100. You have a nasty history, a lot of skeletons in your closet as well. I don't care how big boned those skeletons are, because that happens to be in your DNA. Everything that Akademiks said about Blueface pretty much backfired when he's beefing with Blueface, trying to drag Blueface, and ends up falling on Wack 100. And we having a Wack 100 and Akademiks beef. Blueface is no longer in the picture no more. Crazy enough. It's getting wild, gang. What's next to come in this new beef? Because it looks like beef, and it looks like Akademiks is going to use the feds to take down Wack 100. Champs, what do y'all think is going to happen next, man? What is going to happen between Ak and Wack? Are we going to see a very explosive meltdown between the two very soon? What's going to happen? Because Akademiks is playing with Wack's money, champ. I know it's unethical, I know it's illegal, but he's supposed to be a friend. Y'all are both scumbags. No one's better than the other. So why would you choose to drag him down, huh, champ? Listen, I need y'all to hit the like button. I need y'all to share the video. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Hit the hype button as well if you have not. And one more thing before we get all the way up out of here. You ready, gang? It's the mayor. Joining only man New York Mayor F. Mondani, and you're rocking with the town favorite Showface News. It's Big Gotham. You already know Satan versus everybody at all times. Hit the like, share the video, subscribe if you're brand new, leave a comment. I'm out of here, gang. Salute.